So if you're on YouTube, you probably missed everything that I said up to this point. But that's no big deal. It wasn't that interesting anyway. So you missed my little commentary there. My commentary from the beginning of the video only went to Twitch, but that's fine. The Twitch people are nicer to me anyway. They deserve it. They deserve it, don't they? Okay. Decent Naleb. Not where I'd want to be, but decent enough. Decent enough. Okay, so I'm going to get my power supply software on here. Let's get the power supply software on and the multimeter software on. Let's see how these are both working. I like how the USB device that my power supply and my multimeter use change every single time I stream. It's just one of those adorable things that happens that drives me nuts. Like, last time my multimeter was dev TTY USB 1, and this time my multimeter is dev TTY USB 0. It's so silly. So silly. So silly, silly, silly. Okay. One moment and we'll be up and running. I might just start this stream from scratch since this is not going the way that I would like it to. Speaking of things not going the way I want it to. Lewis development. Yeah, we'll just start the stream from scratch. How about it? All right, stop recording. And hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be working on yet another dead MacBook. Wait, fuck me. I had my volume on here too high. Okay, one last time. Yeah. Okay, take 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be working on yet another dead MacBook. We have got an A1398 here that's not powering on. We're going to see how much power it's taken after we unplug the battery, see if we can make it work again. And let's see if we can get this to be a happy little MacBook. Read something interesting today while on the way to work about on Bloomberg about Amazon employees in Alabama looking to unionize, and apparently, yeah, I think that they're getting tired of having to piss into bottles to hit their workflow targets, and they are vote. And Amazon is contesting this because they're asking to vote via mail due to the pandemic in Alabama and the high testing positivity rate. And it's funny, Amazon is saying that they don't want the vote to occur via mail-in ballot because they think that it will be laden with fraud, which I think is kind of funny. I think that's kind of funny. That's how you know they think they're going to lose. So I think that I think they know that their employees are going to wind up voting to unionize in Alabama. We'll see how this winds up working out. It would be funny if Jeff Bezos comes out at the end of it when their employees in the Alabama warehouse vote to join the union, and he goes, "It's a rigged election. Mail-in ballots are full of fraud." That would be funny. All right, so as you guys saw, I was taking 12 milliamps and it wasn't giving me a green light. So I'm just going to unplug everything and take the board out, and we're going to see what happens there. People wonder why I don't pay attention to Twitch chat. They don't even know how to spell my name. Do you have a PP bus short optimized board repair? Sounds like you have a PP bus short. Check out the wiki. The wiki is supposed to be easier to read than the video stuff for that optimized logic. Hello, Mario. How are you doing? Piernov's here. Actually, you can please bro Piernov. Piernov is smarter than me and probably more than happy to answer your question. Piernov showed up just in time for a please bro. I noticed that I've shed about 3,000 or 5,000 subscribers in this channel over the past few months. I take offense to that. You guys, apparently people don't want to watch me play Dota. Apparently they're willing to watch everybody else on the internet play Dota, but they don't want to watch me play low priority pool Dota. I'm offended. You guys broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. Okay, what's keeping you in? I always miss a screw somewhere, so I just pull very, 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 very lightly, just in case. I got this stupid plastic thing over here. I just pop that out. I have a feeling this is going to be really sticky on the other side. Yeah, something's sticking this in. Very strange. I'm going to feel really stupid if I missed the screw, but I don't believe I've missed a screw. And the keyboard backlight cable is also unplugged, so what the? Yeah, I'll just take this fan out. I'm getting trolled here. Something stupid is going on. Late night sushi fund, if you have one close enough now. Thank you, Art. It's incredibly kind of you. Okay, something is sticking it. Yeah, that was it. It was sticky. So I'm kind of curious what the other side of this is going to look like. It's probably going to look like some nasty, disgusting shit. Okay, I take it back. It doesn't look like nasty, disgusting shit. It was just stuck. All right, so let's get the board out of the case and see if we have the same behavior when everything is unplugged from it. As you all know, sometimes when we unplug things like the keyboard or the trackpad or the right I/O board, that could be shorting a power rail to ground and causing the behavior that we were having, which is no green light. Typically, no green light is a result of pp3v42_G3 hot missing, which you'd know if you checked wiki2.rossmangroup.com or any of my older videos. So we're going to plug in the charger and see if... And we get a green light, where I was not getting a green light before. Interesting. But it doesn't really make much of a difference because we're still stuck at 17 amps, which means this is not going to turn on. Now, the first thing that makes me sad, just taking a look at the board, as you can see, is that there's no real corrosion on this. There's nothing that really sticks out, I would say, as something that's going to be a problem. So, obviously, now that I have the light back, I know that PP342 would be there. But I'm a little curious just because it wasn't there before. I'm not really very trusting, so I'm going to measure it. And I see 3.42 volts. 3.42? You're not going up and down, are you? Okay, 3.42 volts. All right, that's there. Next up, PP Bus G3 hot. Is PP Bus G3 hot on this board? Or is it PP Bus G3 hot or PP Bus G3 not? Okay, so we have 1 volt on PP/D3 hot. Well, there we go. That's a problem. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to see if there's a short on PP/D3 hot. And there's not 71 kiloohms. Now this tells me if I were to use my psychic powers here, I think it sounds like R7121 and R7122 have a hole in them. Let's see if I'm correct. For any of you who are wondering how you could have this type of knowledge, you should check out wiki2.rossmangroup.com. 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 It's legally free for all to see. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see if those 2 resistors that I thought were dead are dead. Is the path broken? No, it's not. Okay, I was wrong. I thought it was a current sensing issue. And is not. For those of you who are curious, I am not troubleshooting with Flexboard View open. I've realized that doing these board repair videos has bored the shit out of me. I am, at this point, I did them 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and some in 20. So that's like 7 years of the same content. I'm bored of that. I don't want to keep doing the same shit. So I'm kind of just doing board repairs the way I would if I was not trying to show and instruct people of things. So what I'm doing now is if I want to create content for people to learn from, that's what the old videos are for, but that's also what the wiki is for. Now it's just me going through my process as I do. Charger DC in is 17 volts. All right. But the MOSFET is not actually fully opening, so this is an interesting one. Why is that happening? Why MOSFET not opening? Huh? It's like it wants to, but it keeps switching itself on and off. Should shake it up and go back to Landrex to make it interesting. I asked Paul that the other day, and Paul said that I asked, when you started working here, was it after there was Landrex and all that, or before? And apparently, Paul started working here after we had after we already got open board view. So Paul has never had to deal with Landrex before. Spoiled bastard. He never had the pain of using Landrex for anything. Okay, so I'm going to open up a board view for what appears to be an 820 Oh, this is an 820-00426. I don't know if I have a schematic for this. I think you did not read my super chats. I am subscribed from your channels. Goodbye. I've read your super chat every single time I see it come up. I'm not sure what that means. I've recognized your name, Ladislav, and I've read them every time they show up. And this is the first time that I have seen it show up today. See, stuff like that is kind of weird. I'm not sure how to take stuff like this. And this is the thing that makes me uncomfortable with social media in general. Like, he usually gives a lot of super chats, and I'll read them and be thankful each time they show up. And then I get something like this where, like, I've offended somebody, but I don't even know what I did because I read them regularly. It's almost makes me wonder if I should just turn that feature off because that's kind of weird. It's kind of awkward because, like, I've read, I usually do read them every time they show up, and that's the first I'm hearing of this. So it's kind of weird. I don't know what to make of that. I think a part of that is just when you get to a certain point, you just have to disconnect yourself from the audience because it's weird when shit like that happens. So I'm probably just gonna move on. Okay, so let's move on. So here I'm gonna open up Flex Board View. Let's see what I got here. We're gonna open up the ISL 6259 circuit. To add that, I have to log into my hosting account, which means I have to remember my password and the email I used to set it up, Wasp Machine Man, which is why I haven't done it. Also, you guys may notice that there is this weird Linux is blinking in the background. We're just going to move that. I can't tell, Aaron, but I just can't let it affect my mental health. I was talking to Eli about that the other day because Eli was saying that social media is just not fun anymore and this, that. And I said, honestly, I used to pride myself on reading every single fucking comment. Like, I used to, even when I was getting 3,000 a day, I read every fucking comment. And then once it started to get to more and more and more, I started to notice it was mentally unhealthy and it was actually fucking with my brain. And I I'm at a point right now where I almost pride myself on not reading them unless I'm doing a stream, because it really does start to fuck with your head at some point. You just can't do it. It's this entire way of communication in many ways is unhealthy. I don't think it's doing well for society. But anyway, moving on from that, I am going to take a look over here. So at this point, I have 1 volt. So it's not even PV bus is 1 volt. It's that what's coming in through Q7180 is 1 volt, and that's up here. Now, the problem that I have, and what pisses me off about this particular board, is that Q7180 is not going to be the same Q7180 that it is on other boards. They used a different chip for it on this model. And okay, well, you guys can see what happened here. So let's go over this. So on this schematic, so this is PPDC and G3 hot. This is the 18 volts coming in from the adapter. I'm just going to full screen this for a moment so that you can see it. And let's open up just the schematic by itself. Okay, so on just the schematic by itself, this is the 18 volts coming in from the adapter. And this transistor is going to be it's kind of like a light switch. It's going to be what allows that 18 volts to go through the rest of the computer. That's also going to keep the battery, technically, from being able to, quote, charge the charger. The battery is not going to be able to output its 12 volts backwards through the system via this transistor. So this keeps the battery. Have you ever bought a really cheap and shitty flashlight 18650 charger, like the cheapest garbage that you can, and you plug it in and it charges your battery, then you unplug the charger from the wall and the light is still in the charger because the battery is now charging the charger? That's how you know you bought a really cheap piece of shit that doesn't have an inrush limiter or a diode or something. And that's what they have here. So let's switch back to the schematic again and show you this. So we have 18 volts over here, but we have 1 volt over here. Now what I did is I searched for Q7180 because I'm just kind of curious. If I have 18 volts here and 1 here, either this transistor is not being told to open by the U7100 or this transistor is bad. Now the one thing that's difficult here is that this board uses a dual you see how this is 2 transistors inside 1 transistor? This board uses a different design. It uses 2 discrete transistors. I don't have a schematic for this board. I have the A20-00426. It's 99% the same as the A20-00163, which is on the screen. So I looked in that area, and this is a similar area. Now again, I don't know exactly what these transistors are. Without reverse tracing everything, I don't know exactly what these are for. I can't know that. But when you look at it, and it has this kind of shade of smoke above it, which maybe you can see a little easier if I turn the light down. So I just turn the light down. As you can see this? Oh my, okay. Well, see, that kind of makes it easy. So at this point, I don't really need to do a lot of measuring to tell, is it the ISL 6259, or is it the inrush limiter that's bad? Oh man, yeah, look at that. Damn, this thing is fading away like the bank account of Citron Research. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this. Dear God. Oh, jeez. Okay, so what we're going to do is, firstly, I want to kind of get an idea of why this happened. So I'm going to, is there anything in the area that's shorted to ground that shouldn't be? We already acknowledged that PP buses, oh my, gee, what the? All right, at this point, we're going to call on the big guns. So I'm going to be replacing myself with Paul, and yeah, Paul can have fun with this. So I'm going to find him, and yeah, we're going to trade places. Be right back.
From 12 layers of the board, didn't it? It's the only reason you would be over here, because it has 12-layer hole underneath it.
That's not the only reason. I come over to talk to you. I ask how your day is going.
No,
How's the turtle?
No, not when you're streaming. When you come over here and say, I have an easy board for you. No. It's welded itself.
No, it's not welded.
Why isn't it removed? Did you already heat this?
No, I haven't turned on my hot air station yet. Here you go. He's not taking the microphone because he hasn't agreed to it yet. It's not even moving.
No, nothing's moving yet.
How does this happen?
Okay, yeah, that should be moving now. Well, yeah, there's no saving that trace. Wait, I want to see something. Okay, the board is not conductive. The board's not burning up to be conductive. Yeah, this could be saved. You're gonna have to rebuild the trace completely, but
Which trace?
this whole thing, this is not gonna come off of here. You have to just rip this off, just cut it off right here and
And then put
rebuild
a wire
the
under
trace.
it?
Yeah.
Alright. Now, the thing is, do we have any 00426 donors? Because that's not the same Q7180.
Just make sure you clean up this real good, though.
Which?
Scrub off all of the carbon off of here, just in case any of it is conductive.
Do you have a 00426?
Wait, is this the one that Camille was working on?
No, this is a different board, but it's the same. It's the same board, but a different machine. It's a different ticket.
But it's the same area.
Yeah.
Same thing. this is the same. Does Big Sur have a vendetta against these machines and doing this?
Yeah, look, the other ones have this. That's the thing.
I don't think we have that. That's what Camille was just looking for.
I gave him. I gave him one or two. I'm gonna.
Done with them?
Time to steal it back. I can't believe we got the same shit in the same day. This never happens ever.
You have those two 426 donors?
Huh?
You have those two 426 donors?
I got the same shit that you did.
Yes, I do.
I got the exact same one.
I wrote about it on the.
Here we go. I found it, Paul.
Oh, mine wasn't as bad. That top MOSFET right here.
Yeah, the exact same thing. It had a layer of smoke over it, and when I tapped it, the whole chip came off.
Mine wasn't even messed up. It was just shorted over. It was 6K across it.
Can we get a part number off of that and see if it's on any other board, any other place?
We don't have the schematic for this. We only have the 00163.
Or off the top of it. See if we can, see if we can find it.
Yeah, I think. Is this safe to use, Paul?
This is better.
That one looks...
This looks water damaged.
This is less
That one looks
crunchy.
good.
Thank you. I'll take this one.
Uh-huh.
XO. Yay. So I leave this out with the heatsink like this, right?
Yes. So I could rip my arm open and I would go to talk to Chris.
I gotta say, it is nice to have enough space that doesn't happen.
Really?
Just the fact that we were scratching ourselves on boards in the old place is pathetic. Thanks to Paul for taking a look. Indeed, thanks to Paul for taking a look. All right, so I am back. Okay, so what are we doing here? So Paul approves attempting to repair it. So what do I got to do? So this transistor is supposed to be... Let's see. Now remember, I don't have a schematic and a board view for this board. If anybody has a schematic and a board view for an 820-00426, please do keep in mind that it would be incredibly immoral to email that schematic to lewis@rossmangroup.com. You should not do that. That's not the right thing to do. It's not what Tim Cook would want you to do. It's a bad thing. So if anybody has a genuine schematic for an 820-00426, you should not, under any circumstances, allow me to have access to that schematic by sending it to me. That being said, now, I don't know what that metal thing is under there. That could be ground or something, so I'm going to green over to that before I put my wire there. Alex, stop. Alex, you don't make me laugh. Okay, that is indeed ground under there. So there's ground under this. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that this is covered up good. This has to be covered up, and this needs to be UV'd. There is shit under here. There is some shitron research under there. Okay. Okay, now I need my UV pen, which is also available on store.rossmangroup.com. By the way, none of you people should be looking at the screen right now because UV is bad for your eyes. So if you're looking at the screen right now, you could be looking at UV light, which is bad for your eyes without any sort of protection. So do not look at the screen right now. This is bad for your eyes. Very, very bad. It will actually... You could be damaging your vision by looking at the monitor right now. Do not damage your vision by looking at the monitor. Do not damage your vision by looking at the monitor without UV goggles. Because when we do this here, since we're professionals, UV goggles or glasses. But you guys are going to go blind. Now, if you want to be able to enjoy our streams in full quality without going blind, you can buy a UV-resistant monitor at store.rossmangroup.com. From store.rossmangroup.com, you can read, you can buy, we will be selling UV-resistant monitors so that you could watch our stream. All right, let's see if that dried properly, all right? Yeah, I think that's decent. Shill indeed, man. Shill indeed. I'm unsubscribing. Lewis did not read my comment and burned my eyes with UV. Oh, thank you. This is getting... Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. I got some on the two resistors next to it, but honestly, it doesn't really matter here. Now remember, that's supposed to be going to the chip right next to it, right? This transistor is leading... That trace is leading here. You gotta flatten that out. Okay. I really could use a kind of a, not a wire necessarily, but kind of like a baking sheet. Something that's shaped like a baking sheet would actually be really nice here. because I want to solder. I want the transistor to get soldered to that. So the transistor that I put here, it needs to get soldered to these 4 pads on the right side, but it simultaneously needs to be soldered to that sheet. They run a wire under the some strands of wire under there just for safekeep. You know what I could actually run under there that would be a good, decent idea is some desoldering wick. Yeah, desoldering wick would actually be the perfect thing to put there. I'm going to put 2 runs of desoldering wick onto that. The first thing I have to do is just fill the wick with my solder. So, yeah, let's take a piece like this. And oh yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, I would use that as my pad. Lewis would never believe me if I said I was unsubscribing. I need his full syringes of flux. Yeah. I wouldn't believe you if you said you're unsubscribing since you've been here from 2013, Terrible Fire. If I said something that offended you past the point of no return, you know, there's a good chance that I've said it already, that you would have moved on by now. Thank you for your viewership over this past, well, it's been 8 years now. 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Wow. Yeah, 8 years. 8 years Terrible Fire's been here. Everybody in the chat, just to say, give a round of applause to Terrible Fire for being one of my oldest and earliest viewers. I remember him commenting when this channel had like 100 subscribers or less. Alright, so what I did here with the soldering wick is I've actually filled it up with solder here. And now I'm going to use this as a trace. So check this out. I think I actually put too much wick on there. So yeah, I'm going to kind of take some off. Yeah, so I'm going to use a piece of wick as my pad. Paul's probably crying looking at... Yeah, this is actually too big. My wick is too big. I get that all the time. A lot of my clients complain that my wick is too big. So I'm going to cut this up a little bit with my Exolite 175M fine tipped snippers. It's going to be a fun little project. Let's see if I can make this happen. And then I want to flatten this as much as I can. All right, that's my custom ground pad over there. I probably should have used a single strand of wire. The reason that I went for the piece of wick is you have to keep in mind that all the power that comes into the computer comes in through this one MOSFET. So it's not like this only powers the backlight or powers the CPU or powers the trackpad. This literally powers everything in the computer. This is the MOSFET through which the charger is going to go. So if the computer is using 40 or 50 watts and the battery is using 30 or 40 while it's charging, 85 watts are going to go through that one trace, that one pad. So it needs to be able to handle it. Is the other transistor okay? Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Probably a happy little transistor. Okay. Now let's see if I've given myself enough room here or no. Okay, never mind. The wick idea was kind of stupid. Yeah, I kind of got ahead of myself there. That's way too high. That's not going to work. All right, never mind. I got a little overexcited there. That was never gonna work. But well, I got to find a piece of wire that's. I don't want to use the jumper wire that I usually use. I don't trust. Again, am I going to trust a 48 gauge jumper wire with carrying power for the whole machine? No. But that was also a little too big. So we got to find something that's in between. So what do we have in the office that's in between? Maybe I take a single strand of something or a couple of strands of something here or there. All right, so I got this 22 gauge wire that I was using for some bike stuff, so I'm thinking maybe I'll just use a couple of strands of this, and that'll do my job. So, but how many strands I wind up using, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this should be good enough. It's a MacBook. We're not talking about charging a Tesla or anything. All right. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. Now, since there's no fresh solder there, it's those wires are actually just going to wick everything off. So, let's get those tinned. Can I do this at an angle? Should I have it bend back around? Nah, I don't think that's the way to do this. I was going to have them bend back around, but that's probably going to end really badly. I'll just do something like this. Get a solder ball, wrap this in some flux, cut the wire up to be even. Okay, well, it took about maybe 4 or 5 strands of wire. Actually, I think that's closer to 3 or 4. So 3 or 4 strands of wire there. Those are some pretty thick wires, and I'm just going to have that sit under the transistor. Or is this being a little too... Yeah, I may have gotten a little too ahead of myself here. Can this work? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out. Alright, 2 wires. Whatever. This is going to be an adventure. I'm probably going to wind up doing just 1 wire at the end of this. Yeah, I think 1 wire is really all I could fit in there. I've taken such a break from streaming board repair that I think I've lost my perception of thickness and... Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. That's sticking up off the board. Yeah, that's crazy. That's stupid. That's really dumb. That's way too thick. Doesn't work though. Is our question. Does that work? Should I plug it in? If I plug it in, does it blow up? All excellent questions. All wanting answers. Whoa, baby! 1.6 amps? Fan spin. Well then. That's not what I would call stable though. Okay, so we know that this is fixable. Now let's make it a little neater. So I got a little overexcited with the amount, and I think I added a bit too much there in terms of the wires. I need to make that a little bit thinner. It doesn't need all of the wires that I put there. I could probably get away with less. Honestly, I could probably get away with this. No, I gotta have something in there. Something as a stopgap. Alright, so this is fixable, which is cool. I just want to make it a little neater. But again, I'm concerned about using a wire that's too thin, because this wire is carrying the entire power of everything going through the machine. So this is this is for DC in. Yeah, it's probably something a little thinner than that, but thicker than an individual jumper. You know, I think I have 38 gauge wire lying around, and I'm probably going to wind up grabbing that. So I'll be right back after I grab some 30, 36, or 38 gauge. Even that may be a little bit too... Meh. All the wire that I have is either too thin or too thick. So I tried using the strands of wire that I use for my bike, and when I put it under the chip, it sits like this. And if I use my 48 gauge wire, it's going to blow up because it's carrying everything from the machine.
I think if you put a big wire and it sits up, that's fine. Because the 4 pins up front are still going to connect even if it sits up.
Do we have anything that's in between 48 gauge and 22 gauge?
What do I have here? 34 gauge.
That may be it. Thank you. I bought this in 2014.
This is going to last for the rest of your life.
That's going to outlast the business. Are you still using my original solder, or did you finally replace it? You replaced it.
I replaced it, but I still have that sorry little spool.
I bought that in 2006. Alright, so here's where the glory of editing comes in. So when I upload this video to the main channel, it's going to look like I just started with the smart wire. Alright, so I got this. So I got some wire here. Can use a thick pad from another board instead. I would have to rip the pad off. I would have to rip everything off, and that would be kind of a... The amount of work involved to do that, for it to be not considerably neater than it would be this way, I don't think would be worth it. Alright. So this here, I believe, is 34 gauge. And this usually would, if this would not be acceptable if it was a long distance, but this is pretty much being used as a trace. So I think it's okay. This is not going a long distance. I'm actually going to make a little box out of it, so watch. Check this out. This is going to be a little box. So we're having 2 tweezers comes in handy. Watch this. See this? All right. So check me out. All right, so I made myself a makeshift pad, makeshift trace. Maybe I'll go across with it just to be. Nah, that's gonna be too high. This is fine. All right, now we just rip off the wire. That's the whole point. We don't want it to be insulated. That's the whole point, is to remove the insulation from the wire. Because if it's insulated, then what's the point? I mean, I'm not going to be soldering it to anything. All right, get some flux in there. And away we go. Shit. This may actually be more difficult to do it this way. All right, there we go. Okay, let's see what we get now. Turn on or fire? Turn on or fire? 1 amp. And the fan is spinning. Now, the one problem that we're going to have here is that that chip is no longer heat sinked. It doesn't have a ground pad anymore. So I am concerned about... It's not going to be grounded to the... It's not attached to the board anymore. Because on the other... it's not even like I could just grab that from the other board, because I would then have to find a way to attach that to the inside of the board itself. So I'm kind of curious, if I leave this on for a little bit, is it going to start boiling? Just clean this area a little bit, and I'll feel that MOSFET in a minute and see how it feels. See if it's being heat sinked. Yeah, that feels all right to me. But then again, I don't know how it's going to feel, an hour from now, or especially after a charging session. So I'll probably put this thing through a charging session and check the temperature of the chip after it's been on for a bit. Because you have to keep in mind, right now it's using 1.4 amps. When it's charging the battery, it's going to use 3 or 4 amps. So we're going to see if this burns at 3 or 4 amps. And if it doesn't, then that means that we have a fix. I'll just, ultrasonic the board, put a little bit more green stuff on that area, clean it up a little bit, and that'll be that. So that's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. And as always, if you want this information, check out wiki2.rossmangroup.com, where we have many detailed guides on how to fix boards. Again, I don't post as many board repair videos anymore. I have been doing board repair videos on this channel for 7 years, and at this point, I just kind of find them a bit same old, same old. You know, there's other things for me to do in business and in life, and I'm focusing on them. And I don't know. This channel kind of used to be like just the Louis Rossman variety show of me recording whatever the hell I was doing at the time, and I'm not doing as much board repair. So, you know, it's business management and everything else I gotta do and deal with, and that stuff's just not particularly exciting for video. So, I'll see you all later, but don't want to give up on the educational stuff, so I'm just changing the format is all. It's just not a video anymore. It's all on wiki2.rossmangroup.com. See you later. And cut. And cut. Why is it pulling so much amperage? 1.4 amps isn't a lot of amps. That's like 20 or 30, 25, 30 watts for a computer that has a quad-core CPU and a dedicated GPU. That's not a lot. Would it be too meta to stream me editing the video that I just recorded? Somebody else does all that stuff, Mayu. Can you please title your board repairs with a number? Maybe. I don't change the title on the streams because YouTube has made it too much of a pain in the ass to adjust individual streams. I usually do when I do the video. I keep all this stuff particularly on the wiki now. So on the wiki is where I'm on the wiki I'm putting everything there by board number and everything. But yeah, the videos are becoming an afterthought. Okay. You could hire a video editor. Dude, board repair videos make $18. Hell no. All right. Plus, they're pretty simple to edit. All right, so here. For those of you who are curious, you get a nice behind the scenes now. Yeah, I'll give you my behind the scenes. Why are New Yorkers so cynical? Honest question. Because they're used to getting fucked over and screwed. I think that's why a lot of people from New York don't like Donald Trump very much. Because they're just kind of... like, it's weird because when I go to other parts of the country, they don't acknowledge how much of a con artist you need to be just to be a basic level real estate salesperson in New York. To be a basic real estate salesperson in New York, you got to be a crazy con artist. And I think people in New York City are just kind of sick and tired of dealing with the... they're expecting the worst from people because they're used to dealing with the worst of people, because a lot of the worst people in the world are here. So I think that does some of it. Although I am just speculating. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay, window capture. And here we go. All right, so let's drag this bitch into DaVinci. You'll get to watch me edit a video. Are you excited? Are you excited? You get it behind the scenes, baby. All right, drag this in. Now it's much more efficient if we change this little color curve thingy here. So I do this. See that? See the difference there? See that? See, like when you drag this out here, how everything is kind of lighter for no reason, and it also takes up a bunch of extra bit rate for no reason. Like so, I just do this. That's. So I just kind of copied it from where it was from the last video I did. I'm a lazy bum. I don't like do crazy color grading or anything like that. So remove the last video. Do this. You may wonder why there are all these audio tracks. So I have the audio unmodified, and then the audio like specific, and then I have the audio with the plugins that I usually stream with, so that it's louder because I have a compressor running live. So I just delete the extra audio tracks. Eventually, DaVinci will give me waveforms, but sometimes it takes forever to give me waveforms because I'm using Linux, and on Linux things that usually work right don't work right. It's one of the traits of this operating system. So let's see. Are you going to give me waveforms anytime today, or probably? Yeah, Linux is being Linux. Oh, good old-fashioned fucking Linux. What a piece of shit. Yeah, at home it works fine, but all right, I'll give it a second. Leave some notes, do some other stuff while I wait. Maybe I'll start a new session altogether. New project. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So I got my audio there. All right, zoom in. Let's get this. So I have a little basic equalizer here, which you can't see because it's fucking Linux. I love it. Like, software that works in Windows doesn't work when you use Linux. Nothing actually works when you use Linux. So check this out. So this is the equalizer, right? I'm just clicking on the equalizer, and you get a blank fucking window. Luckily, it's set to the settings that I want it to be set to, which is a bit removing the low mid and then dumping off the stuff below 80 hertz. But but if this wasn't like this, I'd be fucked. Indeed, trip exit, because it always happens in Linux, and it won't happen with DaVinci Resolve in Windows. It won't happen with DaVinci Resolve in Mac, but it will happen in Linux. All right, so yeah. All right, so I don't need that one anyway. So next up, so I delete these other audio tracks that I don't need. Delete you, delete you, delete you. All right. I have this, which is kind of like Linux's version of Waves L2 or Isotope Ozone Maximizer or anything, but not as good because Linux. And this, I don't use the de-esser on board repair videos because the de-esser that is built into this is actually pretty good. Actually, shit, you can't see that. Fuck. Yeah, there we go. The de-esser that is built into this is actually pretty damn good. It's just on board repair videos, it thinks the fume extractor and hot air are S's, so they're there. So this is a basic little compressor. Thank you. And let's go. All right. We're in. Get a little fade in. Oh, trap exit. You're in for a painful life, my friend. All right, get rid of all this crap. Boring. Boring. All right, so we cut all this stupid crap out. Boring. Next. Keyword should, Frank. Should I keep this awkward part in where the guy says, "You didn't read my super chat, so goodbye"? I'm not going to keep that shit in. That should make... The thing is, if I keep that in, it makes the stream look shittier and saltier, and it just kind of brings everybody's day down. But if I don't leave it in, then the people making fun of him later are not going to... It's not going to make sense. There's going to be no context to that joke. So I don't know if I should leave in the part where the guy says, "I'm unsubscribing because you don't read my chat, goodbye." Because like if I leave it in, it brings down the whole feel of the video. But if I don't leave it in, then nobody's going to understand what everybody else is making fun of later. So I'll leave that up to a chat vote. Do I leave that in or not leave it in? Because like I don't want to glorify that type of behavior. I don't know. I'm not going to leave that in. It's just like fucking pathetic. Yeah, I'm not leaving that in. Fuck that. Yeah, negative. I checked out a few, Parth. Okay, so we're just going to delete that whole section. Bing. Hello, Rob Brown. All right, where's Paul's commentary? Where's Paul's commentary? Ah, there's static out there. Bullshit. All right, we'll leave that in. That's kind of funny.
Good. No, this is a different board, but it's the same. It's the same board, but in a steel attack. Thing it. Okay, so what are we doing here? So Paul approves attempting to repair it. Look at this. This must be. That's it. Please keep in mind, maybe incredibly immoral to email that text message to should not do that. That's not the right thing to do. It's not what we want to do. It's a bad thing. So anybody has a genuine schematic for an 820-00426. You should not, because it's under the ground or something. So there's a ground under there. So there's a ground under there. So what I need to do is I need to make there is some Shutron research under there. Okay? I don't know if that's under there, the ground or something. So I'm going to lean over that before I wire there. Alex, stop. Alex. Okay, there's a ground under there. So there's a ground under there. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that this is covered up good. This needs to be covered up, and this needs UV. There is shit under here. There is some Shutron research under there. Okay? Alex, stop. Okay, that is indeed ground under there. So there's ground under this. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that this is covered up good. This has to be covered up, and this needs to be UV. There is shit under here.
Shilling. 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 I don't recognize any of these weird-ass Linux fonts. Where's Deja Vu Sans? I'm used to I know Deja Vu Sans, but that's... Ah, here we go. Deja Vu Sans. All right. That's some shilling.
There is some shitron research under that. Okay? Right now, because you use that for your eyes. So you're looking at screen right now, you're looking at light, which is bad for your eyes without any protection. So do not look at screen right now, it's bad for your eyes. Very, very bad. It will actually, you could be damaging your vision by looking at a monitor right now. Do not damage your vision by looking at a monitor. Do not damage your vision by looking at a monitor without UV goggles. We do this here for professionals. UV goggles, glasses. But you guys are blind. Now, if you want to be able to enjoy screens in full quality without going blind, you can buy a used monitor. We will be selling. I'm unsubscribing to this without my comment. That's the thing. That's right. It's easy. You can use kind of wire necessarily, but kind of like a cheap. It's on the right side. But
Nope, no desoldering wick. All right. Now here's the beauty of editing, my friends. The beauty of fucking editing. Bada bing. Yeah, this is cheating. This is... Yoink. Yeah, I didn't try to solder a wick under there. I didn't try to solder bike wire under there. Who would ever do that?
Alright, so here's where the glory of editing comes in. When I upload this video to the main channel, it's going to look like I just started smart wire.
That is... Oh, we don't let nobody know. That's our secret here at the live channel. Only people that...
Alright, so I got some wire here.
That's my secret. Any of you fucks that unsubscribe from the live channel don't get to know that as that little secret.
So I got some wire here. Use the pad from another board instead. I would have to rip the... So I got some wire here. I have to rip the pad off, but this is pretty... Alright, I'm going to rip off the wire. Turn on or fire. Turn on or fire. 1 amp. And the fan is spinning.
It's not terrible, that nerdy whatever.
Now, the one problem that we're going to have here is that kind of here, I'll just choose.com, where we have many detailed guidelines. This doesn't matter or anything else I got to do and deal with. That's just not particularly exciting video. So, all on wiki.com. And not a video anymore, it's all on wiki.com.
I think it's decent. Let's take a look. Amscope 3T. For those of you wondering why that stupid shit is happening in the corner of the screen, that's Linux. That's just Linux being Linux. What makes this different from the SM4 TP? Yeah, this is fine for a beginner's microscope. I'm getting my 5G Bill Gates mind control injection tomorrow. I know it's not going to eliminate the bug overnight, but trying to do my part. Chris, I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Don't. We're praying for you. Please don't. Please. Ah, fucking piece of shit. Okay, what is this? This seems like a fine microscope. I got no problems with the SM3. The SE400 is what I started with, but it's really way worse for a small discount. Last week, small computer shop that I work at, we received a broken iMac that was giving no picture. He opens it and bypass graphics and hook it up to monitor and work. Oh, good job. Okay, so we got this video. Deliver the video. I like DaVinci Resolve 17 because it allows you to set the QP that you want for the video. I don't like using bitrate. I don't want to use bitrate to set my fucking video. I want QP or CRF or whatever. But yeah. Even when you choose QP here, it's broken. You can't actually choose the actual QP. But it is what it is. I should upgrade to 17 here. The audio is wave. All right, nice and high bit rate. And encode. Oh, look at that. You should buy a Mac. You should gargle my balls. Buying a Mac. I have no concerns. It's controlling conspiracy, folks. I have no problem with vaccines. I ever heard Scott Galloway's argument that you're a narcissistic piece of shit if you say I'll wait to see what it's like on someone else? Listen, man. I've been paying attention to this administration for the past year. I'll inject something after. No. All right. So rendering and off we go. All right. Well, see you all later. See you all later, people. Thanks for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something. Look how fast this goes. Love my little computer. Look at that. It's going brrrr. Brum, brum.